Good day, everyone. I am Princess Jaquilo Apitan, Bachelor of Science in Criminology 1, Section Joliet. I am here to discuss to you about the sexual self with my co-reporters. So, what is sexual self? The sexual self is concept defined as an individual's evaluation of his or her own sexual feelings and action. Evaluation of his/her own sexual feelings is proposed as an important predictor of contraceptive behavior among teenagers, and a scale measuring the concept as described. According to theorists, sexual self-concept is described well along three dimensions. The number one is the sexual self-esteem, number two is the sexual depression, and number three, the sexual preoccupation. Sexual self-esteem, the feelings you have about your body and your confidence level in how you relate intimately to someone else. So it focuses your confidence level, especially how can you engage the different people surrounds you. The second is sexual depression. In a person with depression, the six related chemicals are out of balance. As a result, sexual desire is low or missing. Low levels of some of these chemicals can also dull pleasurable things. So in sexual depression, you have the sex related chemicals are out of balance. So you're engaging in sexual is out of balance. You have no focus to do it or to do the things because you have sexual depression. So these chemicals can also dull pleasurable things. So that is sexual depression. The next one is sexual preoccupation, defined as the tendency to think about sex to an excessive degree. For examples include masturbation, cybersex, multiple sexual partner, use of pornography, or paying for sex. When these sexual behaviors become a major focus in your life, are difficult to control, and are disruptive or harmful to you or others, they may be considered compulsive sexual behavior. Sex refers to the physical differences between people who are male, female, or intersex. So, also it refers to the different biological and sociological characteristics of males and females, such as reproductive organs, chromosomes, hormones, and others. So, we can see in biodata if mag-fill up ta, makita nato ang nakabutang dito nga naay sex. Not only in biodata, pero not only in biodata but in other nga kanang fill up na naagid na ang sex, di gyud na siya mawala. So, we have two sex only. That is the male and female. So, that is sex. Alfred can see diverse range of sexual behaviors and experiences reported by participants in his research. Kenzie's report is Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, 1948, and the second one is Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, 1953. So, Alfred Kenzie research is human sexual behavior. In the 1940s and 50s, Alfred Kenzie and his team of researchers documented what American men and women did their sexual lives and determined that sexual behavior comprises more than physical. It also includes desire, arousal, attraction, and fantasy. So, in his research, it focuses human sexual behavior. So, he documented what American men and women and their sexual lives and determined the sexual behavior. So, in his research, their sexual lives is focuses and determine the sexual behavior.
Hi everyone, I'm Angeli Mundihar and I'm here today to talk about gender, gender roles, and gender stereotypes. First is gender. Gender refers to the characteristic of women, men, girls, and boys that are socially constructed. This includes norm behaviors and rules associated with being a woman, man, girl, or boy, as well as relationship with each other. As you all know, sex refers to the physical body part of a human, while gender is about how you feel in the inside and who you know yourself to be. Sometimes gender or how you feel inside doesn't always match the sex you were called when you were born. For example, you were naturally born a man, but you know in yourself that you are a feminine and you can be classified as a lady boy or gay. That is an example of gender. Second is gender roles, a set of social expectations about behavior, characteristics, and thoughts for what is considered masculine and feminine. Gender role is how we're expected to act, speak, dress, groom, and conduct ourselves based upon our assigned sex. For example, girls and women are generally expected to dress in typical feminine ways and be polite, accommodating, and nurturing, while men are generally to be strong, aggressive, and bold. People who are born male were expected to be strong and aggressive, not emotional, and of course, love sports. People who are born female were expected to be kind and nurturing, emotional, and domestic, meaning they were all supposed to be able to cook and clean. Third is gender stereotypes. Gender stereotypes are oversimplified and overgeneralized beliefs about what men and women are like, and what traits and behavior expected of them or considered to be appropriate. For example, all girls are expected to be good at cooking, and boys are expected to love sports. Then girls have long hair and boys have short hair, and many more. Stereotyping is very common because of what we see in our livelihood, social media, movies, television, advertisement, etc.
What is the difference between sex and gender?
Hi! I am Irene Apple Perez
Luigi Ignalig Moran.
and Mia Juanan Pardillo. We are here to discuss about the difference between sex and gender as well as the gender sensitivity, cisgender,
Transgender.
and heterosexual.
But before that, what comes in your mind when you hear the word sex and gender? To start my discussion, I'm going to present a picture and you need to guess what was the picture is all about.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Well, if you're thinking about gender, then you're right. What is gender? So, gender refers to socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, and attributes that a given society is considered appropriate for men and women. Sex refers to the biological and psychological characteristics that define men and women. Thus, when we say sex, it is permanent, which it cannot be changed since birth, that defined as men and women. And when we talk about gender, it is a choice of a person of being what they are. And just like gay, lesbian, and others. So, gender, it talks about the feelings of a person for being what they are and who they are. So now, let's move on to gender sensitivity. So, what is gender sensitivity? Gender sensitivity is the act of being sensitive to the ways people think about gender. So, a gender sensitivity, it tries to ensure that people rely less on assumptions about traditional and outdated views on the roles of men and women. And it is often gets expressed through people's language choice. So that's why language really matters. And however, we must consider the way we approach according to their gender identity in order to avoid misunderstanding or misinterpret.
Cisgender.
It is denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender correspond with their birth sex. Ang cisgender daw is a straight person. When we say straight person, di ka magkagusto sa imong kapwa babae, dili ka magkagusto sa imong kapwa lalaki. Cisgender daw is the antonym of transgender. When we say transgender, is the people have gender identity or gender expression that differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. Ang transgender daw is a people have gender identity and it involves gay, lesbian, bisexual, and asexual. Kanang makagusto ka sa kapwa nimo babae, makagusto ka sa kapwa nimo lalaki, makagusto ka both girl or boy, or kanaang wala ka kabalo kung unsa imuhang kasarian. So, cisgender is mao to na kung unsa imong sex sa bata pa ka, mo na gyud imong sex hantod sa matiguang ka, hantod sa kahangturan. Dili yun ni siya mautro.
For further information regarding to the discussion of Ms. Pardillo, transgender people may identify as heterosexual or straight, homosexual, gay or lesbian, bisexual, asexual, or may decline to the label of sexual orientation. And for example, a person who changes his or her body parts to match their desirable sexuality. Heterosexuality is one of the three main categories of sexual orientation within the heterosexuality homosexual continuum. And for example, straight men.
Good morning to all of you. I'm Lovelyn Kaay and I am here to discuss to you they, homosexual, bisexual, asexual, and pansexual. So let's first with the homosexuality. So homosexuality, it comes from the Greek word homos means is the same, kaparehas. So homosexuality is refers to attraction between people who are the same sex. So let's example with the gay. So ma-attract siya sa the same niya nga gay. Pwede po ma-attract siya sa the same niya nga gender or sex. So let's proceed to bisexual. So, bisexual is attracted not exclusively to people of one particular gender. Attracted to both men and women. So, ang bisexual is ma-attract siya both men and women. So, a male or female person who is attracted to both male and female genders. So, ang kaning bisexual is ma-attract siya bisan kinsa. Pwede siya ma-attract sa, for example, me, bae ko. Ma-attract ko is both babae o lalaki. Ana, makagusto ko is the same nga babae, makagusto pod ko og lalaki. Muna siya ang bisexual. So, let's proceed to asexual. Muna si asexual is not involving in sexual activity, feelings, or associations. Kani si asexual is someone who is asexual doesn't experience sexual attraction and or doesn't desire sexual attraction. Muna siya si asexual is has no interest in sexual contact with other people. Wala na siya di siya ma-attract, di na siya ma-attract sa lain tao. Muna siya si asexual. So, kung man ni pagkabalong asexual ka, pinakauna is you're not interested in sex. Muna si asexual, di siya ma-attract bisan si kinsa. Di siya ma-attract bisan unsa wala siya desire nga ma-attract sa lain. Dili siya ma-attract. So let's proceed to pansexual. By the way, bisin naglibog what is the difference between sex and gender? As in is, EX, and gender. Okay, diba? Kanji malibog na. So, is, sex mo na siya ang categorize nga female or male, but there is a variation in the biological attributes. Mo na siya ang imong sex gyud, imong ako gipanganak ko nga babae. Muna, babae gid ko. Muna, panganak ko nga babae niya, ako ang sex is na ako'y vagina. Muna sex. But gender is refers to the social constructed rules, behavior, expression, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. So, muna niya ang gender. Ako, gipanganak ko. Na ako vagina, babae gid ko. But, ang akong gender is nilahi. Because, dako ko nga ako ang identities, ako ang expression, ako ang behaviors is like a lalaki. Nang dili gid ko uyon sa pangbabae nga buhat, muna siya ang gender. Muna ilang kalian ang sex is muna ang imong biological jud imong imuha jud kagalingon ni mga sex yun. Pero ang gender, muna imong identities dira mabaw-an og kuan ba ka, bayot ba ka na og tumboy ba ka. So, muna ang kalayan sa sex o gender. So, let's proceed to a pansexual. So, pansexual is a sexual or romantic attraction to people regardless of gender. So, ang kaniyang pansexual is the same with as a bisexual. Pwede siya ma-attract siya sa tanan nga not limited. Ma-attract siya sa tanan nga gender. So, asa may kalayan din nila ni bisexual, si pansexual o bisexual nga parehas naman sila. Parehas naman sila ma-attract sa both men and women, ma-attract sila sa kaparehas nila og gender. So, these definitions may very similar. Similar kay silang definition. But there is a distinct difference sa ilaha duha. So, bisexual means is attracted to multiple genders. Once again, bisexual means attracted to multiple genders. While pansexual means attracted to all genders. Muna ilang kalayan. Ang bisexual is ma-attract lang siya sa multiple nga genders. But ang pansexual is ma-attract siya sa tanan nga genders. So, muna siya mga tanan genders, mga LGBT, gay, lesbian, muna siya ang ma-attract tanan nga genders yung ma-attract.
Hello, I'm Abigail S. Basuego, and our topic is about the sexual self. So, let's continue the discussion about the sexual identity, which is questioning. So, what is questioning? So, questioning means anyone who hasn't yet self-defined their sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or some combination of the three. So, simply put, they have a feeling that they might be different but still in a process of exploration. So, questioning sexuality, meaning these people are still unsure about their sexual identity, but they know themselves that they are different. They feel different from their actual sexuality. They are still exploring to figure out what their sexuality really is. So, our next topic is about the queer theory. So, what is queer theory? So, queer theory is a perspective that questions the manner in which we have been taught to think about the sexual orientation. In other words, queer means relating to people whose sexual orientation is not heterosexual, or whose gender identity is not traditionally male or female. These are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. In short, LGBTQ. Queer has been traditionally used in a highly pejorative sense. So when you say pejorative, what do you mean by that? So pejorative is a word that expresses negative or disrespectful connotation. So queer has been seen a classic expression of homophobia. So what is homophobia? Homophobia means dislike of or prejudice against gay people. So they are discriminating LGBTQs. So they have this connotations that is all negative. Okay, but according to Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick, a queer theorist, there are dozens of ways in which people's sexualities are different. Even identical genitals acts means very different things to different people. Homosexual, heterosexual, or bisexual experience their sexuality as firmly attached within a matrix of gender. So, those people that belongs to the queer group wants to be more accepted by the society. They want to have freedom from what they do. They want to be included in an environment that is free from discrimination or prejudice. They want to express their sexuality in a flexible way where people around them won't easily judge and ignore them. They want to be respected, enable for them to grow and live just like anyone else in this world. They want to be treated in a polite way, not in a rude way, because they also have feelings to get hurt. They shouldn't be classified as a negative group of people in the community. They are just the same as what we are. Our rights is also their rights, so we must treat everyone in equal way. So that's it.
Hi, good morning. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. By the way, my name is Noram, Asli, and Gabertan. And this is my topic for today. First, the human sexuality. Second, gender sensitivity. The third one is social behavior. So, the human sexuality is viewed in three domains: biological, psychological, and social. So, biological is relating to biology or to life and living processes. So, in the word bio, it means life. It is used in or produced by applied biology, connected by direct genetic relationship rather than adoption or marriage her biological father. Example of biological in medicine refers to a substance made from living organism or its products. Biologicals may be used to prevent, diagnose, treat, or relieve of symptoms of disease. So, for example, antibodies, interleukins, and vaccines are biologicals. Biological are also refers to parents and children who are related by blood. Next one is psychological. So, psychological is pertaining to the mind or mental phenomena as a subject matters of psychology. It is pertaining to dealing with or affecting the mind, especially as a function of awareness. A function of awareness, feeling, or motivation. The example of psychological is something that relates to the mind or mental actions. An example of something psychological is an IQ test. An example of something psychological is bipolar disorder. Next one is social. So what is social? Social is tending to form cooperative and interdependent relationships with other of one kinds, living and breeding in more or less organized communities. It is relating to human society that interacts in individual or in a group. What are examples of social? What are examples of social? Social. An example of social is having group of friends over the ice cream. The definition of social is someone or something that enjoys being with others or has to do with people living or gathering in groups. An example of social is children laughing and playing together. So what makes a person social? They use feelings, words, and ideas to work with people rather than physical activity to do things. They enjoy closeness, sharing, groups, unstructured activity, and being in charge. So the next topic that I will explain is gender sensitivity. Strives to understand the role of gender and sexual ways to confront sexism. So gender sensitivity is the way service providers that treat male or female clients in service delivery facilities and thus affects clients' willingness to seek service, continue to use services and carry out the health behaviors advocated by the services. So why is it important? Gender sensitivity is about recognizing that our language choices having consequences or relating effectively to others. Therefore, they reinforce that women and men should be treated equally. Then it's primordial to create awareness on how to reflect and believe in our communication use. Next one is sexual behavior. Plays a role in human relationships of part of sexual self. So, sexual behavior are behaviors that involve parts of the body considered to be private or sexual. This behavior may be referred to as sex play and are normally part of growing up for many children and adolescents. So sexual behavior encompasses all activities which gratify an individual's sexual needs. Sexual behaviors have been studied in context of sexual practices, sexual relationships, productive health, sexual transmitted infection, and contraception. And everyone, I think that's the end of our topic. Thank you for having us.